Hi, everybody. It's Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray. And today we are traveling south down the East Coast from my hometown down to our friend in Bradenton, Florida, otherwise known as Sarasota Tim. Underneath our good friend Tim is obviously a fair use statement from my attorney. And I think Tim is looking for some more legal action potentially. So let's catch up with him. We're going to catch up with a couple of videos today. We're going to take a look at his mid-morning chat for about 2 seconds because he's just rolling around in the F-250, guys. And then we're going to catch up with some dry begging, complaining, along with some just absolutely atrocious health advice on the whole. So yeah, let's just get it down. 1.25. Take it away, Timmy.
But I do want to say regarding my travel plans, I can tell you this, folks. I can tell you God is good. God has definitely had me tap the brakes. He does not want me to go anywhere last week, even this week. It's not because of this hurricane.
Is that because God tapped the brakes on your buy me a coffee donations? And if you want to donate to my work with my rescue dog, Roscoe, who's looking fantastic now, my link's down below. Why not? Everyone hates a dry bag. So I might as well dry bag as well. And if you do like this type of content while we're dry bagging, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe because that pushes me up the algorithm. And I can continue to grow this fantastic, absolutely amazing community who's part of the good life, ensuring that we do have a good life and we don't listen to a bunch of scammy, just absolute pish posh, oshkosh bagosh. I'm trying not to use bad words on the internet because it's loaded with these people. Everybody wants to have expertise in topics they don't have expertise on, and they want to talk about them all day. That's fine if you put a disclaimer out there that you aren't a health professional, you're not a licensed insurance broker, you have no experience of working at a Social Security Administration office, that you left school at an early age, that these are just your thoughts and opinions, that's fine. But you don't put any disclaimers out, Sarasota Tim. And that's where I have a problem with you. That's why I'm going to keep calling you out. And I don't really worry about what anybody says. And the fact that you still even have a core audience still watching you shows me they have absolutely a group of amoral individuals.
It's never going to come, hopefully, here. It's the weather they've been encountering already there. I'm talking about Chattanooga, the Carolinas, the Great Smoky Mountains, Atlanta, all that southeast area has had flooding. Did you see the news about Chattanooga? Flooding in the streets. And if it's already saturated, I mean,
of course, Tim can't go somewhere where he could be in any type of discomfort, because, charitable Mr. Christian out here, he gives nothing to anybody except through the pay it forward at the McDonald's, which is just something that, stopped being a trend in 2005. But Tim wants to keep, just that dead horse.
I'm talking about Virginia Beach, all the way anywhere in that area.
What are you talking about, Virginia Beach? Now, Tim, you are asking for some type of restraining order. That you have said in the past you have never set foot in Virginia, yet the one town or city, I should say, that you are absolutely obsessed with is Virginia Beach, which is my hometown. And you and I have had legal beef, and you know it. You have copyright struck my channel more times than I care to remember with false fair use. How you still have a YouTube channel is absolutely beyond comprehension to me. You give out some of the worst advice with no disclaimers. Anyway. That's why I call him out. I mean, he's not even, he's funny, but he's not. Now we've got his afternoon chat and live longer, healthier, do this. Yeah, if I can suggest, don't do anything that this man recommends. Now, he does suggest some exercise. I want to preface, obviously, as a healthcare professional, someone who's training America's future nurses, training as a nurse educator, and will be working to train future medical professionals and have a lot of extensive history in my career. I am also a distance runner and have been for 45 years. 56 years old now, so have a fair amount of life experience also that I can draw upon, along with my professional licensure and expertise. And so I always want to caution individuals when you're watching somebody who left school at 16 and openly talks about that. I don't want to degrade somebody, but this is not, he doesn't have licensure to talk about certain topics, and health is definitely one of them. The man has not had a proper defecation in days. And so I wouldn't listen to him. He can't manage his money, can't manage his relationships. There's nothing he seems to be able to manage. And he lives in a camper on a slab. I would not listen to this man, not for love nor money.
Just pulling out of BJ's. I know, I was just here the other day. I just couldn't resist to find out another story about the gas mileage. I just want you to know, if you got a Super Duty or really any car, it's got these computers that tell you.
Yeah, let's just listen to Tim complain for a couple of minutes about something that he did to himself. Okay, this is all a vanity project. And just listen to how he talks about somebody else's business that he, if you tried to have a full-on conversation with me at a gas pump, I would turn my back on you. Do not want to have just in everybody's business, judging everybody, wants everyone to judge him as something he's not. He wants to be perceived that he got all of this going on, that he has a level of expertise on topics, that he has the ability to look affluent at a gas pump and be able to then judge other people's wealth at a gas pump. Tim, stop it.
Your miles per gallon.
Distasteful.
The Honda was spot on. What I have before that, this one to the decimal point, 8.4 miles per gallon. I just went 84 miles and just put in 10 gallons of gas. 10 gallons of gas to go 84 miles, but it would be further than that if I was on the highway. It would be further than that if I didn't sit around town and idle a lot, like I do quite a bit, using this as my office. So
the office, don't you have that great Flagstaff you can use as an office? Maybe instead of just blowing gas, maybe just go and sit inside one of these coffee shops and use their Wi-Fi instead of rolling around. But I guess this is you need to be more honest and say it's your film studio, because this is all we get. If you're watching Sarasota Tim and his, alpha grandpa content. I don't, that's what I think I'm going to call this. Like alpha grandpa. Not that he's a great grandpa, but he just up in grandpa age. It's like part of the alpha males. He thinks he's, Mr. Fit and eating all this just meat and stuff, taking out his coronary arteries on a daily basis, and then thinking he's like all that and all clear and cognitively functioning and can give advice. No, not even your own family wants you around them, Tim.
Bottom line is the computer is absolutely spot on. These cars, that ain't no roughly. That's it. So I verified, and that's pathetic. Somebody wrote in comments the other day that he met somebody who's got a diesel Super Duty and gets 17 to 20 or whatever around town and 20 to 100 out on the highway. Okay. And this is a roundabout they want to race through. There's LA Fitness. I was already there. I'm going to the 8th and Benderson now to run. You see, a couple of you had to tell me that I look thinner. So
I definitely know you're not using the LA or the Planet Fitness or whatever to do your defecation business, because you talk about the fact you can't even do that properly. And that's a really bad sign. That's one of the first things like I ask in a patient assessment because it really is a good indicator of how things are functioning in your body. And if you aren't having it on a consistent basis and it doesn't look healthy, then you have problems. And the fact that you're absolutely ignoring your calls from your providers that you need to have a colonoscopy and you supposedly have this history of ulcerative colitis, then you are even more negligent and less capable of giving anybody any guidance on health. In my professional opinion, you are a danger to people and their health.
Already on the other side of town, I ate some cheese and some roast beef from Publix, roll-ups, the old Atkins thing I used to do. And instead of going home, making a hamburger, steak, going through all that,
And that's some weird cult too. And all of you can come into my comment section and I'm going to disagree with you. And I'm going to direct you to some actual studies that are peer-reviewed, controlled, and within the last 5 years. And so you can all say you feel this, that, and the other. Promise you, your colon and your heart are telling two different stories. And you're going to end up with having issues. You've got to get that fiber in there.
Went into the deli. You know, I hear that'll kill you too. The cheese.
All you did was eat some processed stuff and some salt. So you've already got glaucoma. So I guess you just want to increase your pressure of your eyes too. And your chance of having a stroke. Keep going at it, Tim. And keep telling people that you know how you talk about health. And I'm going to keep calling you out because you're atrocious. And you're a charlatan. And you shouldn't talk about these topics at all. You should be ashamed of yourself, actually. But you're not, because you're a narcissist, in my opinion.
Had recently, I know that dairy's not really a carnivore, but
you don't know what's part of anything.
And I sat here in the truck for quite a while that burned up.
Now, if you keep sitting in your truck like that, Tim, they're going to think you're homeless and have you institutionalized for being problem and criminal to society. And that's what you voted for, mate. Yeah, well done. You're part of a weird cult, old alpha grandpa here. Ugh.
From gas, 8.4. I'm telling you, man. Ugh. I was talking to a geezer.
Oh, it's another reason why no woman would go near you, Tim. She'd have to be absolutely a loony in my mind, you know, and I know that's not a nice term to use as somebody who's studying psychiatric mental health, but they would have to have some type of disorder, I think, because you've got so many red flags. You haven't been with anybody consistently. You married 3 times, divorced 3 times, major red flag. You live in a camper and you talk about your YouTube channel incessantly. You have so many red flags, Tim, that you could make all the red flags out of that red shirt that you have on, which is the flag. You are the red shirt, red flag. You know, no woman should go near you. You'd be such a bore. Blech. No woman wants to be near you. You've got nothing to offer. You're an unemployed, homeless, car dweller, truck dweller.
Well, Mama, you're a geezer. I pointed at my sign on my sticker on my car. I said, check out Sarasota Tim. I said, you're a geezer. I'm a geezer. I pointed him out as a geezer first. But when I identified myself as one, I don't think he took it too bad. He was a good sport. We were chatting there, getting gas. He had him a Lexus. One thing he's got is plenty of money. And he's got him a Camry, an earlier model one. And he was telling me about how
you're going to have plenty of debt, Tim. You have no idea. But you're just assuming that people are going to take it then and look at you with your pretentious labels on and your construction contractor truck or whatever and make an assumption about you. That is nothing about who you are. You're just a hollow, empty, narcissistic shell of an individual, sir. And you're sitting here laughing. And like I said, the people who watch your content, knowing that you are taking a man who's due to have a heart transplant, you just took his golf clubs without even, 2 cares about it, that you deleted the comments of good wishes to somebody who is experiencing breast cancer and on the breast cancer journey with Miss Bev Bianco. And you did that after they showed your hospitality in their homes. You are a despicable, just Christless individual. You have no idea about actual Christian compassion, Tim. None whatsoever. You're an absolute charlatan. Absolutely. especially being a Southern Baptist. I know a thing or two about those people. I got a bunch of cousins like that. I don't talk to those people. They're absolutely horrendous, in my opinion. Sorry. And if you are, I'm sorry. That's just my belief. And I'm going to start saying more of my beliefs now. I'm just, I've kept my sort of self to myself, but I don't like this man for many reasons.
They wanted 15 grand more for the hybrid in the Lexus. He says, I'm not doing that. Or 10 grand, whatever it was. I said, well, it was only 5 grand more for the hybrid on the Honda. So in retrospect now, I was telling him, how I couldn't spell gas. I didn't even think of gas. I didn't worry about gas. It was like an electric car. And now I said, I was just here the other day. I'm always visiting here now. Anyway, he didn't get the hybrid. He does well enough. I don't know what that Lexus had. It was an SUV, small one, the crossover. It wasn't the big one. It no doubt had a 6 in it. I don't think it had an 8. But again, he's retired too. He doesn't drive that much. It's all relative. He said he's got this.
Would you not be irritated if this man was so much in your business at a gas station?
I think he said he fills up every couple of weeks or something. So what difference does it make? Switch with me. But man, this thing would be hell to commute. These guys that still have jobs drive these every day, putting that gas in.
Tim, you have the biggest prison job known to mankind, and every day you drive up and down that one highway and thoroughfare in Bradenton and make this nonsense on a daily basis. You took one day off. You have no PTO, and you are an absolute charlatan about your finances. You lie about everything, in my opinion, but really it's been proven. So I'm just trying to be kind and polite for fair use purposes. Oh gosh, this man, he just needs to go, but he never will.
And your paycheck, give yourself a raise and
Alpha Grandpa.
Get you some kind of something. Get a moped. I'm gonna get out in front of you. He's going the other way. These roundabouts are chanting. Well, they're mall. I could go walk in the mall and look at the pretty ladies and get my steps in. Or I can go over here, like I said, a couple of you made the mistake of
great. Just what the girls want, a lecherous old man just copying a view of them all. Gross, Tim. Really.
Telling me how handsome I look and thinner. I'm like,
that's
really?
all lies.
Well, I'll just keep doing them sprints.
No, Tim, it's because you got a bunch of pick-me girls in your audience. Those women, they're a bunch of pick-me's. Even if they're married, they're pick-me's. Because the fact that they're hanging out in your comment section and trying to vie for your attention already tells me that they have absolutely no taste whatsoever. The fact that they're on board with somebody who has just done some really shady stuff like you have, they probably are hoping that since you have no morals, that you would be on board for all sorts of stuff. Because you were with Tammy for years when she was married, and you met her through your one of your wives, and you kept in touch with the person that your wife worked with. I mean, that's unusual, Tim. Most people don't do that, but you and Miss Tammy obviously had a thing going on, in my opinion. And it's proven through history and about the amounts of time that you were staying at Dwayne's house and stuff. You didn't have any problems saying hi to that guy and eating at his table. And then when he was gone, taking his wife and doing some nasty with her. You have no morals, man. You're just out here.
Thanks for the encouragement. I do appreciate it. Thank you for those compliments. I got a few. Noticing a little bit of a weight loss. So that's cool. Yeah, we're going to keep at it. And so I did the little meat and cheese roll up. Now my belly's full of cheese and meat. We'll maybe walk a couple of those laps before I start running. The running almost kind of like ended. I was doing the sprints and everything.
You need to end the running. Absolutely. Coming from somebody who is a distance runner and having seen you run and supposedly hearing all your numbers, you're going to give yourself a coronary. If that's your goal, go ahead. Keep running. Especially trying to increase your heart rate like that up on a sprint. Do you even know what your max heart rate goal is? Anything? Do you understand anything? Absolutely not. You have no clue. You are exactly the type of person who has information from a provider that maybe you have some things around your health that need to be corrected, And then you go out and start doing these types of exercise programs without really following the advice probably of your healthcare provider. And then you go off and get like a stroke or some type of cardiac event. And so you haven't really benefited yourself. And then people are like, oh, exercise is so bad for you. No, it's just this guy shouldn't be out here exercising and then eating all that cholesterol-laden, salty, processed meat and cheese and stuff. Certainly doesn't have any business giving anybody any information about running. And he certainly has absolutely, he never should give anybody any health advice. This man can't even poop properly. Just please.
Thing, and then
be smart.
Got so sore, starting to do just trots, and now I'm just back to walking.
And I think there has to come a time where we just need to call the line on listening to these people sitting in their cars like this, calling themselves experts about stuff. You know, I think Alpha Grandpa Day, and there's just all these guys just assuming because they come out here in their cars and they're just with their mouths that they have expertise on topics. They don't. Nobody. If you want to listen to this guy, that's fine. But I mean, I just, I call him out. The reason why I do this is because these people need to be continuously called out because he is just, he doesn't tell the truth. He needs to go get a colonoscopy. And if he had a bad result, he's not going to tell you. He's a dishonest player.
And I saw a guy, though, at BJ's just now. There was, while I was waiting behind him to get in line, the lady at BJ's came out and pumped his gas for him. I guess he was very old. He had a cane. He was driving, though, and he had a small car. But maybe his card wasn't working right, trying to get the reader to identify the membership.
Tim, everything that you're talking about in this call is about other people. And you clickbaited with you want to live longer and healthier, do this. You can't actually come out and give any evidence-based practice about real things that could help somebody increase their longevity. You have no idea.
So she went ahead and told him, you get in the car, I'll take care of this for you, which was very nice. And he had a cane. He backed up to his little car, kept getting his butt into the doorway, backing in, and then sits down. And, like I said, he's got the cane and, so get those steps in, get that exercise going. Got an event going on here. They're preparing for it, I guess.
And I'm a huge advocate of exercise. Absolutely. You should exercise and have a good diet that goes along with it. But if you've somebody who's not had an exercise program in a long time, or even if you do exercise and are a distance runner and you are having a diet that probably has like processed cheese and, roast beef from a deli counter or, most of the foods that Tim probably was sneaking on the side in reality, then your likelihood of having a cardiovascular event is greatly increased, along with a greater increase for stroke, greater increase for having a colon cancers. I mean, I'm just being honest. Tim, and I don't want anyone to listen to Tim because I don't want anybody. There's already been another sort of nomadic creator who did have a stroke recently. It's going to put your life back. And I think he swallowed the cult and was doing potentially a less healthy diet. And now he's moved to the Mediterranean diet and people want to come after him for that. You people really, truly are like some messed up folk. Do you understand? You're in a cult.
For the weekend, I'll show it to you in a minute. I got a bunch of tents put up. Get your health. I mean, you can't stop aging. The guy, I don't know how old the guy was, but he was a slow breather, man. He was like one of them ones over there in Palm Beach County.
Tim, for a man who's 66, you look in your 70s. That's coming from a healthcare professional. You do not look in great shape. Don't fool yourself. You fried your skin. You look terrible. Oh, a big old.
Let me show you guys.
Ugh.
See?
Don't want to close up with you, Tim.
I do this all the time. We come out here and set those up.
Can
you see it
today?
I'm sure you can see it good enough.
Oh, yeah. Great. Right up your nose, Tim. Lovely.
So they got something going on this weekend, some kind of rowing thing or whatever. Anyway, yeah, man. I mean, some of you listening to my voice right now.
What is this pearls of wisdom that you're supposedly? Where's all this evidence-based practice that you're going to provide us with? This all these studies that you have accumulated and knowledge off of YouTube and Google over the last couple of months, Tim, that you want to share with everybody and literally take out half your audience.
I might have, certain aging process or handicaps that, make you not as agile, as mobile as you used to be. And, like I said, my legs hurt. I feel like, of course, I can't run like I did when I was 15. I can still think that way, but I'm trying, and you should try too.
No, not without seeing a healthcare professional. You haven't been running in a long time. You don't just go out like that. Don't listen to this person. I'm not saying that you shouldn't exercise, but you probably should do it in the safety of a gym, just in case anything were to happen. I'm being deadly serious. Because it can. If you're not somebody who's consistently exercised, doesn't really know their blood pressure, hasn't been, watching and maintaining their weight. Tim shouldn't be out running at that weight on those knees. He's going to take his knees out.
Just keep crushing it. And eating right, that's the mainest thing, as my friend likes to say.
Well, I don't know which friend that is, but they need a class in some literacy.
That's the mainest thing. And then, I don't know if walking or any of the exercise is going to do you any good if you don't eat right. Because I see people at the mall getting their steps in, and while they're doing good, they're walking.
Tim, you don't correctly. You absolutely do not eat correctly. There is nothing about your diet that is good or correct. You are literally inside of a cult, sir.
And there's nothing wrong with walking and exercise, but it's what goes in your pie hole with the inflammation and the joints and the holding the water and the things and the stuff. You got to eat healthy. People are like, well, you know what? It's hard enough to think about going to a gym or getting out and walking in the heat or the rain or whatever, or running or doing all that business. But it's really hard to stop eating cornbread, mashed potatoes, gravy, cereal, oatmeal.
There's nothing wrong with mashed potato. It's what you put inside the mashed potato. There's nothing wrong with, especially if you keep the skin on. There's nothing wrong with that. It's got some good amount of potassium in it. I'd rather get my carbohydrates from a healthy vegetable source than a processed piece of bread. But bread's not bad. Always either. I mean, everything in moderation. But it's butter on the cornbread. It's the butter on and cheese in the mashed potatoes and all the cream. It's all the stuff that you are enjoying, Tim, is supposedly your healthy diet, or all the things that you shouldn't put towards those foods. You trying to run without carbs? So you're going to feel like trash.
Sugar, Cokes, regular Cokes, and all the other potato chips, all those things.
In fact, I'll offer you, since you're so keen to come to Virginia Beach, why don't you come and run a race with me, Tim? I won't even make it a long one. I'll do one of my shorter races. We'll just do why don't you, I'll give you some time to train. What about the turkey trot? Thanksgiving Day. You don't do stuff on Thanksgiving. Come up here. We'll see who takes this faster on the 6-mile run. I'll train up a little bit for it. How about that? Just to make sure I'm not cold, I'll get my diet, which I'm already not too concerned about. And I am going to work towards running that. And I'm going to aim, and I haven't run in a long time. And so I think reasonably on a 6-mile run at my age, and somebody hasn't run, so I'm like almost starting back from the beginning. If I could get it down to, let's say an 8.5 to a 9-minute mile, that's just kind of being like slow. That would be good. Over a 10K, I think if I could get that pace, I would be pretty pleased. I mean, obviously a pace closer to 7 minutes would be a much better pace, more in line with what I used to do. But it's not going to be, unless I was younger, then it was much faster, obviously, but at this age, if I could get a 9-minute after having not been able to run for a little bit, I'd be pretty happy with that. And I'll take you to the turkey trot. Tim, I'll even pay for the race entry. How about that? Said you're so keen to come to Virginia Beach. Let's see how good you all.
Very hard. They're very addictive to quit. I feel you. I hate my share of them. And, I look at them all the time. I go to the grocery store. I look over. I'm like, oh, yeah. It's like, but can't do it. So once you make the investment into yourself in time.
Alpha Grandpa here is part of a cult, okay? He's just part of a cult. That's it. That's what he's part of. He has no mind of his own.
And see a difference in the way you feel, see a difference in the way you look and the way you think and what people say to you that know you. That becomes addictive. That replaces what you found comfort in.
Yeah, whatever, Tim. Just here's Tim and his motivational speeches again. I just find it interesting to see these individuals who've accomplished absolutely nothing in their life try to come out here with full narcissistic glory and talk so highly of themselves. There's no education, doesn't own a home, can't keep a relationship, has no goals. He's no athletic real history. He's just full of stories. Absolutely full of stories. Full of stories.
And for decades. And when you got less runway in front of you, folks, and you got behind you, it's never been more important. Nobody can tell us when we were young, like, I'll die tomorrow. I'll live tomorrow. But I'm serious. You do.
No, that's not how I thought. I actually tried to take care of my health. There was a time when I didn't. I can promise you. And I partied, at night and stuff. But I still was exercising and eating healthfully. It was kind of like I felt that I was getting a trade-off. But then I realized by the time I was in my mid-30s, that's not true. That you actually do have to really watch and monitor your health. And nothing is given to you for free. You do have to work towards it. Also, it's through your diet and it's through your exercise. And every time I've tried to talk to any of my friends about doing any of the things that I do throughout the years, obviously to have maintained my health and my weight and to maintain my exercise and not to blow out my knees and blow everything out, they don't want to do it because it does take some amount of actually being consistent and having some monitoring of obviously the things that you do eat. And so and eating in moderation and just, making sure that certain things are met and your macros on a daily basis. And in reality, a lot of people don't want to get to the depths of all of that. Tim has no idea. He's going to lead you to a stroke or a cardiac event or, something. There's no idea what he's talking about.
You. But I'm definitely, I ain't going back. I didn't work this hard, do all this crap I'm doing, eating like I'm doing for nothing. I'm sticking with it. And I hope, even if I only move an inch a month, by the time goes by, with what runway I have left, I'll be that much better off and that much healthier and live that much longer. And even if I don't live any longer, as long as I'm
on YouTube. Dr. Eric Berg is a Scientologist and chiropractor. And I've talked many a time about Dr. Ken Berry and his problematic history and his license being on probation and his prescribing of controlled narcotics when he shouldn't have, and all types of things that would be a huge red flag for any healthcare provider. And these are the two experts that Tim likes to talk about. This gentleman, I promise you, is very weak-minded, in my opinion, has fallen into a cult. Please do not. I know most of you are smart, so you wouldn't, but if you just happen to find my channel and you do have an interest, this Alpha Grandpa has no idea what he's talking about.
And get out there and see that wall. Let's see that run. Let's see that crush.
Yeah, you will never see him run, and if you do, you're going to see him so short of breath. And like I said, the invitation for the race is open, Tim. It's open. And so if you did happen to make it this far, goodness, 35 minutes. This video is almost too long. I'm sorry. Tim is just should not be giving health information. I almost feel like he does this just to irritate me, to get me going. But I also know that he's fallen into this, alpha grandpa, red pill, whatever alpha male universe type sort of just, this carnivore diet. Please don't. I can't express enough as a healthcare professional that it is not a diet that I would recommend. Is probably one of the least healthy. These keto, low carb, all of these are considered one of the least healthiest diets you could potentially follow. And if you're certainly not doing it under the guise through your healthcare provider and they're not observing you, then I think then you're really all this stuff like, oh, I know how my body feels. Yeah, I get that. But a lot of times you really don't. So please be aware and cautious of that. These people are just looking for a way to get views, and that's what Tim's doing. So yeah, and if you did get this far, leave me a little runner in the comment section. There's lots of little runners. I know that emoji. And like I said, Tim, I'm willing to race with you. It's a huge race. It's in Virginia Beach. You can stay at the KOA campground. All right, guys. Please don't listen to these people. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.